We're going to know a lot more about what exactly went down between Max Allegri and Juventus and why he's leaving the club on Saturday. It's been announced that Allegri and club chairman, or club president rather, Andrea Agnelli, will address the media together. For now, I think a lot of people might call it a conscious uncoupling between the two. The backstory to it is that Max Allegri had a year left on his contract. In those circumstances, you're not going to keep a guy around with an expiring contract. That was sort of the club's policy. Allegri wanted to have a little more say over transfers, and he wanted a longer term deal and also a pay rise. Remember, he's relatively underpaid relative to the other top managers in Europe. The club weren't sure about making a long-term commitment to him. They also didn't really want to get into a situation where they started necessarily arguing or negotiating with him over signings, other than obviously consulting with him when need be. And so they thought best to go in another direction. Now, this is the story that's been floated around. This is the story that sort of explained this last month of tension, right up until the meeting between the two, between Agnelli and Allegri on Wednesday. This has been played out very much in public when you consider that it was all important that these two guys have their big meeting, but they work right next to each other at La Continassa at Juve's training ground. So you wonder why it had to be so public. And this is why a lot of people are suggesting that maybe there's a little bit more to that. Maybe Juventus, we would have kept Allegri, but only on certain very specific terms. And equally, maybe Max Allegri as well felt, what, I've been here a long time. Maybe I only stay if I get exactly what I want, because I won't be lacking for offers elsewhere. I think one of the enduring themes about Max Allegri and about Juventus is that Juventus have gone all in to try and win the Champions League. I mean, that part is evidence. You look at the way their squad is constructed. They have a whole bunch of older players, of veterans. They have, of course, made a tremendous financial commitment to Cristiano Ronaldo. You do that when you sense you have a window of opportunity. That window of opportunity is closing, so you go all in. He's come close, obviously, Allegri, twice in the Champions League final. But they really felt that this is the time to do it. So the question that Juventus had to answer for themselves is Max Allegri the guy to do it? And I think there was a growing sense, certainly among some Juve fans, when you look at the way that Juventus were knocked out by Ajax, they came up short in an area that Allegri had identified as a priority. And that is, in Europe, being able to go out there and dominate teams and attack teams and really put them under the cosh, and doing so with attacking play. Allegri said, going back to last season, that this was a real priority for him. It was something he wanted to bring into the club. And it's not something he was able to bring in. Even in Serie A, which they've dominated, Juventus, it's been much more of this more sort of pragmatic defend and counter sort of solidity than it has been that very progressive, high-pressing front foot game. He wasn't able to do it last year, and he wasn't able to do it this year, certainly not consistently, even with Cristiano Ronaldo in the mix. And so I think that's when some of the serious questions came up about whether Allegri could do it at all. This wasn't a case of a guy saying, oh no, there's no problem here. He had identified the issue, he had set it as a target, and he had failed to reach his objective.